the musicality of your exquisitely angelic voice is so perfectly suited to that message. If you just sang "ah," we would have gotten the message. And then those beautiful words on top of it. Thank you so much. That's magnificent. The only reason nobody clapped is we're all in awe and feeling the moment. That was magnificent, just magical. Thank you for your gift and sharing your gift to us. So the reason we didn't do the other one, the other reading, is I wanted to start my talk with this reading. So this is from Sacred Abundance by Reverend Robin Ryder. In Exodus 20, verse 3, God begins outlining the 10 Commandments by saying, "You shall have no other gods before me." We would say, well, I wouldn't have a God before you. I mean, God is God. God is God in my life. Of course I would not worship any other God. The truth is, however, that every one of us, at one time or another, has worshipped the God of lack, worshipped the God of fear, worshipped the God of anger, jealousy, or unworthiness. You see, we worship these gods when we give them our attention, our energy, our focus, and when we give them our power. When we place power and belief in lack, we've made it a god. When we place power and belief in disease, we have made it a god. We don't have our priorities in order when we allow the problem, the human condition, to be central in our focus, our energy, our thoughts, and our beliefs. And I have several people in my life that have been in 12-step programs, and they talk about how, I'm just going to say alcohol, for example, that to an alcoholic, the bottle is their God. Their whole world revolves around that. It's all about that. And people like myself who were family members, well, we made our God the addict. So our world revolved around them. And suddenly, and so we're empowered. When we think of it that way, it empowers us because it really illustrates our ability to remove our power from that situation and our attention and our focus. Doesn't mean we don't have to deal with those things. It just means we don't perseverate on that to such a degree that we don't see any solutions, that we're only going over and over again what has already happened, what could happen, what we're afraid is going to happen, and we're just building and building and building this energy. And I always think of my mom when I say this because she used to talk about worry being like being in a rocking chair. You can go 90 to nothing in that thing, but you're really not going anywhere. It's not getting you where you want to go. So that's, we can expend a lot of energy that really has no direction. So, it makes us ask the question, so what is our God? What is our God in this moment? What are we giving our full attention to? So I love when I crack my husband up. I'm sorry, I had to look over and say that. He was laughing. So what is our God? So I'm listening to, like many of you, like many of us, listening to the news a lot. We get anxious and we're like, yes, but is God in that too? Well, we either believe God is everywhere or we don't, right? So I took a new tack last week. It actually came out of a meditation that I had, is I caught myself saying the words, we're healing our way through this. We're healing our way through this. Whatever circumstances in your body, whatever circumstances in your emotions, in your mind, for the world, for our country, I need to get a tissue, pardon me. So whatever is going on, no matter what it is, we're healing our way through that. So let's take that. When I think of that, it gets me excited on a number of reasons. But one of them is, I believe that we came from this incredible energy of love, all-powerful, all-intelligent, unlimited creator, benevolent creator. And I believe we're headed there in our understanding. I believe we're already there, but we're not there in our awareness. We're not there in our expression yet. So we're moving through this, whatever this process is that gets us to that understanding of that God of good, living from that place. So the in-between is that how are we healing our way through this? And if we believe that it ends up over here, where the happy outcome is assured, as the Course in Miracles says, then we're healing our way through this. It's like when you sit down and you watch one of those crazy movies. For some reason, I got into the Mission Impossible series recently and talk about nail biting, and they throw every possible negative scenario and twist and turn on stress and stress and stress. And you're sitting there going, oh my gosh, but if you know it ends well, there's a part of you that's over here going, how are they gonna get out of that? And I think sometimes if we get in that quiet place, as to say the least, and take that breath, we start getting the hows. You know, I've always felt God is the how, right? God is the how. We don't have to always know the how so much as we have to have the faith. And so there's that relaxing into it and saying, how do I show up? That's the how. How do I meet with that energy of healing? How do I get excited about, maybe I'm an observer now, and I get to see, oh, how are we going to heal our way through this one? That's going to be interesting. Because there are times if you're watching that movie, it gets a little tense and you go, okay, I know this is going to end up okay. It'll be interesting to see how they do that. So I'm starting to take that approach when I watch the news now and trying to watch it less, but going, it will be interesting, and to understand God's not on time frame. God certainly does not have the same agendas we have. God is God is God. God is love. We've been given every tool we need. We are all together in this. How? How are we? Ooh, isn't that going to be interesting to see how we come together? And it's so funny how things show up, you know, because the solution sometimes shows up as a challenge. Just a minor example is that I've been wanting to drop weight again. And once I have the mindset, I can do it. But it's starting, and I might have a false start because I'm just not really motivated yet. And so I was praying just for the inspiration to get my head in the game. Just what is the inspiration for this? What will be that thing that makes me want to start? Next day I got on the scale and I gained 4 more pounds. Okay, so that's a challenge, right? I could look at that and go, oh my gosh. But this part of me saw the number on that scale and went, that was what I needed. That was exactly what I needed. So perhaps those things in the news. There will be some point at which the right person or persons say, there's too much going on here, what do we do? You know how people get motivated. God bless the people who lose someone and decide to create an organization because of that supports other people. God bless them. God bless them. Turning those challenges into the healing. So how are we healing our way through this? And I was doing those affirmations a lot in I can't say enough, and I'll just say this briefly, but we had this amazing silent retreat yesterday that Kim led. And making the space, just making the space to listen, just making that space. And I found that my body did adjustments. There were so many things I went through I could speak to, but in regards to this, even after we had another session after eating, I was very aware even of my body going through the digestion process. And it was like, oh, that's interesting. I would never really have noticed that. And it's going through a process, and because I see it or I feel it, does that make it wrong? No, it's doing what it's supposed to do. And how glorious that I don't have to know how to make that work, right? Divine order. There's so much of this we don't have to figure out. I am very much a planner, checklist person, blah, blah, blah. So sometimes it's hard for me when I think, oh, I have to just step back and let this heal. I have to step back and amazing to think your body knows how to heal itself in so many regards. No problem with lending a helping hand if we need a surgery or those kinds of things. But to know that your body knows how to take it from there, that your body knows how to heal, is miraculous. And how many times have you heard, even on the climate, if we stop doing bad things to the earth would know how to heal itself, divine intelligence. And so the whole focus shifts. The whole focus shifts into that focus. What are we making our God so that we can experience more and more of that thing that we say we want to create in the world? Where is that healing our way through this? I would feel a bubble and I'd go, oh, my neck hurts a little or whatever, and I just go, I'm healing my way through this. Instead of thinking, oh, my neck's cripped up again. Well, there may be truth to that, but I could also say, oh, I'm healing my way through this again. I know how, my body knows how to heal this. I've done it before. It's a whole shift. It's a whole shift in the thinking that is going to make it better. And so the phrase came to me yesterday in this process. I was hearing songs. I was hearing all kinds of things. I cannot recommend highly enough having extended periods of time in the silence and what that did for my mind and my heart. I went through a process of taking out the trash, where all that energy of worrying about this person, that person, the news, the tragedies, all those stuff, I had to just watch it like a film, watch it walk out the door, and then the thoughts started replacing that of cleansing and healing, and that there was a different energy about it. My husband and I have started the brave project of cleaning our garage, which is basically it's just storage, it's storage. And so we've had it roughly organized, but now it's going through and purging. The reason I bring that up is to say this. As part of the process I was seeing in that letting things go and letting things go out the door, I was saying, there does come a time where by doing that, by just letting it march on, inviting it to leave, there's this energy created, this space created. And I was just thinking about how empty space is potential. Potential is just empty space where anything could happen. Anything could happen because we know God to be unlimited. We know God is unlimited. So I've really been helping me reframe to think that things going on out here, how are we going to heal our way through that? That's interesting. I can observe. And that's the part of me that steps back and doesn't have to be of the world. And then there's the part of me that wants to be a part of the solution. And that part of me, I was thinking, I can make it better. And that phrase, make it better, got me excited because I saw that working on multiple levels. I thought for myself, my eating habits, whatever, I'm making it better. I'm making a choice to make it better. If I were in an argument and there was somebody, I have that moment where I can choose whether to say this next thing and whether that's going to make this situation better or not. And I can make it better. I can choose to make it better. Sometimes it's even saying those words, how can I make this better? And the other person understands that's where you're coming from. How can I make this better? How even any little, and also I just think we need to know that we're on track. We need to know that we're making progress because then it gives you that excitement about the harder things. It's that daily exercise, that daily spiritual practice, and then seeing, your lab work is doing it out in the world, Does this really work? Am I actually applying the things I'm pondering? It's not, I had a friend that would say, give me 10 pounds of God, I'm double parked, It's like, you can't just rush and go, okay, la, 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 I did my meditation, okay, now I'm going to go, go to work, do this thing. No, it's how bringing all that energy that we know, we know. That peacefulness, the space to feel that presence, the space to know. My word on the tree, and for any of you who may not be familiar with this is our affirmation tree for our congregation, and everyone is invited if you don't already have a word up there. It's something you're affirming is your focus for this year, and mine is wonder, because I get a lot of delight and juice out of that word. That's how I heal my way through it. I think there are many, and to know your playlist, as we've said, know those things that lift your heart, know those things that touch you and move you, the prescriptions for when you're low energy, the prescriptions for when you're too revved up, your own prescriptions, because you know yourself better than anyone. You know what heals your heart. You know what makes it better. I was thinking about, a child even coming up with their little scraped finger and going, "Mommy, make it better. Just kiss it well, make it better." There's that part of us. We need to answer that in ourselves. What in this wounded child sometimes? What is it asking of you to make, just make a little tweak, just make a little gesture that I'm making this better. I'm making this better. When we see, our spouse or our friend in need, what is it they need? How do we rush in and show up? How can we make it better? And just to know every little bit of that matters. And that's what I was saying to our spiritual journey, that sometimes we need to know we are making a difference. You don't know how much that kind word meant. Even to someone in a store. I was cashiering and working part-time, wanting to go back to school at one point, and just like feeling agitated with myself, and someone came through the line and just was so upbeat and was from this space that was so incredible. And he was just like, I said, "Well, you're having a good day." And he goes, "Oh." I go, "Did something happen?" "No, I'm just happy. I'm just a happy guy." And he walked out, and I was like, and the person next to me, I said, "I used to be like that." And it made me, him just doing that, he will never know, made me sit with myself and go, where's the gap? What happened? I made a plan. I went back to school. I did all this stuff. That guy will never know. I went back to school and did all this whole other stuff because he came in happy. You never know the way you are blessing people, and those are in the tiny ways. Yeah. So it would seem. And then when you open your heart in a big way, whether that person is in the place to fully accept that or not, they can acknowledge how incredible it is that you're there for them. And it's like you put it in their spiritual bank account. They remember it and they draw from it when they need it. It's a gift that keeps on giving. Because love just expands, just grows, just continues. It just goes on and on. It's such a... So part of our joyful wonder, my wonder of life thing, has been just feeling so blessed with the trip that we got to take to Europe. And I didn't know if I would ever get there in my life. So just the fact that we were going was a miraculous gift to me. And I was in wonder over planning it. When we got there, I had everything planned down to the last thing. So I felt like we built the ship and now we're going to get to use it, get on there. And every moment, I tell you, it was just so amazing. And as one can imagine over a month's time, there were a few things that didn't go to plan. And they became some of our favorite stories of the trip. And they were obstacles we had to overcome, goofy little things that happened. Maybe this was less than we thought it would be, or that was this, whatever. But it became so much fun. And it was the wonder of not knowing even the things we knew about, like I'd never seen, so I enjoyed every little bit of it. But the joy of just kind of playing with something that came out of nowhere was so miraculous, you know. One time we got lost. We were trying to get to a museum at a particular time, or you miss your entry. And not through no fault of our own, we got dropped off on the wrong side of where we were supposed to be, and we were running. We're in Florence, and we're running down the street, running, and you can just the fact that we were running is a wonder to me. But we were running down the street, and all of this, and I'm trying to catch my breath. Randy's ahead of me, of course. I'm running, trying to catch up with Randy. And I'm going, we're not going to get there in time. We're just not going to get there in time. And Randy's like, let's just keep going, So we're running. And all of a sudden, it dawned on me. I'm like, I'm running, number one. Number two, we're in Europe. We're in Florence. I'm running down the street in Florence, Italy. And I just started laughing so hard. And I went, you know what? Whether we make it or we don't make it, this is officially an adventure, right? I'm dubbing this as an adventure. And I can see the yellow building that the gate where I had that realization I'm running down. And it all ended up coming out fine. The goofy thing is we did miss our time, but it turned out they had set up a private guide for us who was still there, and she zipped us right ahead. We didn't even have to wait in line. So it all worked out, but it was so, so funny to me. And there were other things like that where we got on the wrong bus because someone thought this and said that, and we were on the wrong bus, and suddenly we're standing in the middle of mainland Venice going, where are we? And my phone didn't work, had no internet service, so there was no Google Map, there was no calling an Uber, there was no calling a taxi, there was no calling the hotel. And we're standing there, and I'm going, the goofy thing is I feel safe. And I just thought it was funny. And I went, we're on a bus line. We're going to make it back. Won't it be interesting to see how? Won't it be interesting to see how this plays out? I wonder how we're going to get through this. We are. I know we are. So it's already officially another adventure. And this amazing Italian bus driver let us on. I said, first thing, do you speak English? He said, no, but I have a translator, basically. So he put on his translator, found out what we needed. There were 2 other people in his bus. He got us right up. He goes, you sit right here. I'll tell you when to get off. We got off the bus. He sat where he was, made sure we crossed the street, and waited for us to wave that we saw our hotel before he pulled off. So, guidance. And so, of course, I fall in love with people all the time, just adore people in their interesting ways and their ways they show up. But again, it was one of those, I don't have to know how this comes out before I feel good about this. I can start giggling to myself that, oh, look, this was unexpected. I wonder how this is going to play out. I know I'm okay. And even in those moments of pain, I remember, I've said this before, but with my daughter, the first time we had lost a pet, when she, first in her experience. And oh man, we cried together over that. It was a dog we'd had for 16 years. And we cried together, and she said, Mom, it hurts so much. And I said, I know, and I'm crying with her. Yes, it does, it really does. And I can tell you, tomorrow will be better. And I can tell you the next day will get better, and the next day will get better. And there will come a time where when we say her name, you will only smile. You will only laugh and tell fun stories about having her. And I think that's it. We're either already in it and seeing how ridiculously amusing it is, or we have that opportunity to say, yes, I'm in this and it hurts, but I know I'm okay. I know I'm somehow safe through this. I know God is good. I know God is good. And I think that's what it always comes back to, is what is your God? Is your God a God of good? If your God equals good, a lot of times in prayers I like to change those words out so I know what I'm talking about when I say God. You know, the God is good. So good has you. You're wrapped in the arms. Wrapped in the arms. And feeling that like you felt it when she sang it today. To feel that presence so deeply and so richly that that's all there is. And so part of what was coming out of wonder for me in our exploration was this sense of purity. That word came to mind. Because to me, for you to experience anything, you have to get authentic with it. I'm real. I'm here with my real feelings, right? And then there's this sense of, what is the absolute truth about it? Show me. Show me. And that was part of it, too, with going, was saying, okay, I made all these plans of where to be, but now I want to let go and let it show me what it is. I don't want to go in there knowing every last little thing about it. Where would the fun of that be? So let me go in and let it show me what it is. And I notice the colors and the sounds and the flavors and the people and let it show me. And so to me, that's this energy of purity where I can be in wonder. I looked up, because I love to do that, the definition of wonder, a feeling of surprise mingled with admiration. I really love that. We got a lot of surprises. Mingled with admiration. It's like, God, how many times have we had that view or that thing that worked out in a magnificent way, and you go, oh my God, God is showing off and I love it, right? Caused by something beautiful, unexpected, unfamiliar, or inexplicable. Just that feeling of wonder. And so, like I said, my dissecting the experience of it, just so that I would understand it and even dwell in it more, wallow in it, let my focus be that. I was like, what is this wonder that I feel? What is that to me? And it kept coming back to this sense of really experiencing the purity of a situation, the beauty of how things show up the real way they do. And I wrote this poem, and it's really about trying to just drop into some of those little feelings. And so I'll read it slowly on purpose, because I would love for you to close your eyes and feel the imagery of this. So it's just some simple feelings around that. The wind on your face, a whisper of grace, a sigh in a space so pure, laughter and love, the coo of the dove, soft clouds up above, so sure, the things that are real that offer their feel, intended to heal, make whole. We are not our past. In spirit at last, the moment, the task to behold. The sacred of here, the absence of fear, the safety of near to the self. The self meant to be before others see, directing that me to a shelf. Beholden to none but the shine of the sun, the radiant one, the glow, inviting us forth to remember our worth, this day a rebirth to know. From this simple space, we find our embrace. All life is our face, our home. Protecting with care, we nurture and share in flow rich and fair, our tone. Calming the noise, adjusting the toys, and mending the joys that were splintered. And so In our fun, we find we are one. It always has been so simple. Our task to start fresh, releasing the rest. Our talk, a request. We listen. For though we are wise, there's always surprise, regardless of tries at perfection. And listening, still, free of the will, we are shown what we used as distraction. Freeing the mind and leaving behind all boxes and kind we were thinking. Unfettered, uncurled, without naming the world, our solutions unfurled, never ending. So from that space, I'd like to just go right into our meditation now. Just taking your thoughts, your personal feelings of what is pure to you. What is pure to you? If you just close your eyes and feel with me into that. Is it just simply one thing that you focus on at a time? That wind on your face. I love that. Sometimes I stand in the yard and just feel the wind on my face and know that is a caress. The living, loving God moving, touching its creations. How perfect. Perhaps it's a view you see of a sunrise where the colors light up the sky. The sun rising every day, but never quite in the same way twice. Different colors, different cloud patterns. Different feel to it. Always that fresh new day with full of possibilities. And sometimes the purity isn't as silent. It might be your funny little dog. It might be that baby sleeping. It might be that baby awake, but still so delightful. Laughing, playing. The real things of life. Dwelling in the energy of that life that's always been, no matter how many years we go back. A baby's laughter is as old as babies have been on earth. The beauty, the joy, the wisdom always available to us. Our shift in perspective, allowing the healing, the awareness of the wholeness. The awareness. Does this make it better? Then that is God the good. recognizing how goodness shows up with many, many faces in many, many ways. And whatever face before you, how is this God? Maybe not how I expect, but how is this God? How is this good? Many answers, many wisdoms may come to you, and sometimes you won't know in that moment, but you'll know it is. Somehow this is God. Somehow this is God. God the unlimited never hides in the corner. God the unlimited everywhere, shining. I believe angels dance when we recognize truth. So we enjoy that energy. Allow that energy to heal through your body. Can you let it in? Can you feel that energy moving through your physical body? Making adjustments where need be for your highest good, making it better. Lifting. You are moving, ever moving into wholeness. You come from one, you are one, you go to one. And in the middle, we ask of ourselves that we feel that oneness. That we feel that oneness through our choices. We make it better. So allow yourself a cleansing breath to release. Releasing anything and everything unlike that, name and unnamed. Inviting it out the door. Inviting in the space of possibilities. Making room for healing and wholeness in your lives. For choices that lift and bless and fill out and decorate your life the way you want. What speaks to your heart? What blesses and nurtures you? And through our choices to dwell there, we have focused and made God, life, the God. So we thank you, Mother, Father, God, Spirit, Great Spirit, by whatever name you would call that energy and power and unlimited good, purity, safety, joy, playfulness, healing and wholeness. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And we let this be the truth of our walking. We let it be done.